actually I tell it to all my friends who have kids, start doing this every day.
I started doing gratitude in during COVID. एंड माई फर्स्ट रिएक्शन वाला इससे थोड़े ही कुछ होता है, ऐसे एक चार पांच सेंटेंस कुछ लिखूंगी उससे थोड़े ही कुछ होगा. But then I just, because I had a lot of time during COVID, and then I did it as an experiment ki I have nothing much to lose actually. And then I have a separate gratitude journal and I kept it by the side of my bed.
Something I literally tell everyone. That is something I'm constantly telling people about. If you don't want to do anything, if you don't believe in anything, just do this, and this alone can shift your life.
A warm welcome to you, Ankita, in our podcast.
Hi, Manjari. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for this opportunity.
You're most welcome. So, Ankita Ojha is from Bangalore and she's a therapist and a healer. She is also a co host of the wellness podcast Khushi Ki Or on YouTube. Along with this, she also has an Instagram page on daily health affirmations where she posts affirmations and gratitude daily. So today we understand from Ankita what is attitude of gratitude and how can we include it in our lives for transformation. So Ankita, what does gratitude mean to you personally?
Yeah, so Manjari, before I got into healing and the world of energy, my first step to the energy world was through gratitude. My first interaction was when I read this book called The Secret, which is extremely famous and many people know about it. There's a movie about it as well. And in that, they mention the act of gratitude in which you can, try to use gratitude in a way thinking that I already have this, so I'm grateful for the big house that I want, I'm grateful for the car that I have. So you can do that. So I started with that, thinking, not expecting anything, but thinking, okay, let's try it out. And within a few months I realized how it changed the way I look at the world. It changed the way how things work out for me, and how I started noticing so many amazing things in my life. And from there onwards, the power of belief, the power of thought, all of that became very clear to me through that simple practice of gratitude. And through that, then I started to learn Reiki, I went into tarot, I went into a lot of other modalities. But the foundation of all that work for me became very important and became very established with the practice of gratitude. So personally, for me, it was a starting point which took me very far in life, and it actually changed my direction. So I always feel, no matter what happens in my life, I always go back to basics. I always go back to gratitude. And that is why when you're talking about an attitude of gratitude, it is a practice. It is something that, we need to focus on a daily basis. So even if I give you an example of any person, if I ask you, Manjari, what are you grateful for? Tell me five things. So immediately you'll be like, okay, five things. What do I say? And then immediately you'll come up with, say, I'm grateful for this podcast. I'm grateful for my
Yes.
home, and whatever five things you'll say. But if I ask you, in the last 7 days or 10 days, how many of these five things were you actually grateful for? And you'll be like, I am grateful, I am. But we don't usually, unless we have a practice, we don't usually notice these things. Like, inherently we know we are grateful, but we don't actually say these things out loud, and we don't acknowledge them. And that is why the practice of gratitude is very important, and that is where my journey with gratitude started, which built a very good foundation for me to work in the field of energy and healing. And that is why I have extremely strong faith with gratitude.
Okay.
Yeah.
How has practicing gratitude changed your life? Little bit more in detail. You mentioned right now, but little bit more in detail.
Yeah. So before I had read the book Secret and the gratitude and all of this energy work started, I used to have this constant stream of negative thoughts in my mind. And I was extremely critical about myself and about the people around me. And that is a very common thing which a lot of people, feel. There is a tape running in your head negatively, like you're in traffic, or you're in your office struggling with somebody, or you're struggling in relationships. So similarly, I also had that internal critic that kept on telling me, you're doing this wrong, you're doing that wrong. And that constant thing used to play in my head. And then when I started doing gratitude, I think about 3 months into it, one day it just hit me that I haven't criticized myself in like a week or so. And that was like an anomaly for me because that had not happened in a long, long time. So I think I was about 28, 29 at that time. And all these years, I was constantly criticizing from the, my teenage years. And we tend to criticize our bodies, our actions, things we have done, and other decisions we've taken. And instantly it hit me, I've not done either of that, and I'm actually able to see the silver lining in a lot of situations. So that click that I noticed, it was very surprising for me, and it actually showed me that what a single act can do. A simple effort of sitting down daily and writing 3 to 5 things, it hardly takes less than 5 minutes, and even that small effort made me change a thing that I had stayed with all my life. So that sort of made me realize the power of gratitude. So like we even talk about affirmations, at the end of the day, affirmations and gratitude, they're statements, but they are statements that you're telling yourself, that you're repeating to yourself. That is an internal dialogue that you have with yourself. So that practice is something that had stayed with me. And also when I'm talking about an impact on my life, when you talk about affirmations or gratitude, the moment that shift happens, it is not like, okay, now I am not doing gratitude for a week or so, so I will revert back to that previous state. The good thing about affirmations and gratitude is once you create that state of mind, once you make that shift, it then becomes difficult to go back to the previous negative mindset. So that is a very personal thing that happened with me, and it has stayed with me since. So many people come up to me and tell me, oh, you're so positive and you're able to see the positive in every situation. How is that? So that is because of the practice of gratitude. And this is something I literally tell everyone. That is something I'm constantly telling people about. If you don't want to do anything, if you don't believe in anything, just do this. And this alone can shift your life like it has shifted mine. So definitely this is worth checking out. That this is worth experimenting with. Yeah.
Yeah, do it as an experiment. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, then you have nothing to lose much.
Exactly.
Yeah. And it's a simple act of gratitude, so you don't lose much, right? Even
Yeah.
if it doesn't work for you. And Ankita, you, as you mentioned, that after a few days you realize that you haven't criticized yourself, and so that's why it's very important then to keep a journal when you are working on yourself, so that you know what was your state, and now you know what is your state now over a period of time, because maybe there's no change in a day's time, but over a
Yeah.
period of time there's a lot of change.
Yeah. So, Manjari, this is one of the most common things that I hear, that people get into gratitude with a lot of excitement. They do it for a few days, and then after that, they're like, I'm not seeing any results, and they abandon it. Even there are many apps on the App Store as well, which help you to log in gratitude on a daily basis, and many people do that as well. But I personally always recommend to take a journal, because even when, like I told you, when I asked you that, say 5 things that you're grateful for, see, we have a lot of thoughts running in our mind during the day. On an average, we have about 60,000 thoughts in our mind on a daily basis. Now if I ask you how many thoughts are you aware of, you will hardly know, say 10, 20. That also, if you sit down and think that since morning what all have I thought, and a highly aware person would be able to go to a, what, say 100 or 80 or 100 at max. But before, beyond that, we are not aware of what is running in the background in our mind. So that is a software that runs in our mind, and in that software, those 60,000 thoughts, there are good thoughts, there are bad thoughts, there are scary thoughts, there's so many multitude of things happening in the background, but we have no attention to that. When we go into a practice of gratitude, and especially with a journal, what happens is we are choosing to bring those thoughts into focus. A happy gratitude thought, that is what we bring into focus, so that we can practice it, and we can when we focus on that, it tends to grow the more focus. So like, it's a very famous dialogue, where your attention goes, energy flows. So if you take out time and start writing everything that went wrong in your day, your thoughts will start to go there even more, you will start to focus on that even more. Similarly, if you sit down every day and start writing 3 things that went well today, or 3 things you're grateful for, those things tend to help you to notice things that are going well even more. So a very famous experiment when we talk about law of attraction is that if you are planning to buy a red car, you start noticing red cars everywhere. It's not like the red cars have suddenly appeared. They were always there. It's just that your attention was not going to them. Similarly, the moment you start doing gratitude, you start focusing on a lot of things that you can be grateful for, even little things, big things, and that is where the perspective change happens. And why a gratitude journal? So I recommend doing it, sitting down and doing it, because you create a ritual around it. Even if it is 2 minutes or 5 minutes, you sit down, you take a journal, you take out your pen, and then you write down. So when you're writing it down physically, you're not only involving your mind in the process, but you're also involving your body in the process. So your presence in that moment is very strong. Even we can also make it a meditative practice, like, because what we are doing is we are sitting and focusing on something, and that is a mindfulness act where you're sitting and you're reflecting on your life, you're reflecting on your day, and you're trying to find out what is it that is working for you, or what is it that is good in your life. And that practice helps you a lot, and it gives you something to look forward to. That every morning, if you're doing the gratitude journal every morning, so those 2 minutes you're going to sit and you're going to feel good about yourself, you're going to write something good, you're going to write something positive. As it is, you would have noticed a few things in the previous day, or even if you've not noticed anything, the moment you start to sit down and write, you start remembering, oh, that thing happened yesterday, was so good, I felt so happy. Oh, I went for a movie, that was so good. So that is an opportunity for you to reflect on things that have gone well, and even borrow that happiness even more. So yesterday something good happened and you felt good. Today when you're writing it down, you're again reliving that happiness. So that also helps you to maintain that happy habit of doing the gratitude. That is why, yes, there are apps and there are many different ways of doing gratitude, but I personally always recommend that you sit down and maybe get a very beautiful journal and you make it your gratitude journal. And also, if you don't want to put in more effort, there are also a lot of gratitude journals that are available in the market, and they actually give you prompts that write three people you're grateful for, or write three things that you're grateful for. So similarly, those prompt journals are also there that can help you. But if you don't want to spend money, you can just buy a journal. You can also buy like a very basic notebook that we get in the market. But the important part is sitting down, writing, and making a ritual around it. That actually helps you, and that makes you sit down and take out a few moments of your time just to notice something good that has happened. So that is why journaling is a very strong practice. And if you are thinking of experimenting, I would recommend do it with a journal, because that ritual in itself helps you to stay at it for longer, instead of doing it in your mind and then third day, fourth day, you will be like, okay, I forgot doing it. So a journal, make sure that you do it for a longer time as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So does it have, like, what I could make out from what you explained is, does it has a domino effect? Like when I think positive, then I train my mind and body to be in a positive state, and then I attract positive things in life. So does it have a domino effect as well?
Yes, definitely. Manjari, there is a thought, that there is an idea that says that you don't see the world as the world is, but you see the world as you are. So, if your lens is coming from a negativity, your understanding is a negative understanding, from that perspective, you will look at the world. But the moment you start cleaning the mirror that is inside you, the world outside you starts looking better. It starts looking brighter. So when we start a practice of gratitude, so it's not only gratitude. So if you start, when we talk about kindness, if you start doing acts of kindness, if you start showing love to people, if you show selflessness around, the people around you, even these emotions have a very good ripple effect. But I find gratitude to be one of the easiest ways to bring that change in your life, because no matter what situation you're in, you're always able to find something to be grateful for, which obviously we will also talk about later. But gratitude is a very basic and simple thing, because even on the worst day possible, you can also be grateful that you're alive. You can still be grateful that you live in a beautiful house or a clean house. So there are always things to be grateful for, and the more you focus on it, the more it brings focus on other things that you did not notice before. Like we talked about the red car. So when you start, so I'll give you an example. I started this with my husband, that okay, every day you tell me three things that I did right, and then I'll tell you three things that you did right. So what would happen is we are like doing something, we are like chilling around, and he'll be like, oh, I'll tell you to be, I'll give my gratitude about this tomorrow. And then he would start noting, during the day, ki, oh, kal I have to give gratitude, so this I'll say, this I'll say. So he started noticing. It's not like those things were new and happening for the first time, but the notice, the attention to those things increases when you start doing gratitude. So this is again something you can do with your partner or anybody for that matter, your family member, anybody. Yeah.
And can you share a personal story where expressing gratitude made a significant difference to your life?
Yeah. So another difficult moment where gratitude sort of helped me. I was in the corporate world earlier, and there was a time in my life where I was struggling a lot. Like I felt like my time is not being valued, my efforts are not taken into consideration, and I was struggling a lot. And there were other factors also which I won't get into. But there was a lot of struggle happening. I was traveling a lot, like multiple hours a day. I was traveling, and there was a lot of anxiety that I would go through during the day. So during that time where nothing seemed to be working for me, I again went back to basics, because when you're struggling, sometimes you don't have the mental capability to even consider therapy or consider other things or self work, because everything is too overwhelming at that point, because you're emotionally too charged up with the negativity, the things happening, you don't have time and all that. So I was going through that time, and it was a very difficult time for me. At that time, again, I went back to basics and I started doing gratitude. So what I would do, the moment I would reach office, I would take out my journal and I would start writing. Before starting my day, I would sit down and write three things that I'm grateful for about the job. Even though I was struggling in the job, but I would give gratitude for that job. Like it's still, I'm getting my salary. Because of that salary, I'm able to do things I want to do. So I would focus on gratitude. And every time during the day that I would feel that anxiety coming on, I would just stop everything. I would go back to my notebook and I would write one more thing. So, and many times when I won't find things about, the job, I would write, okay, I'm grateful for this awesome pen that I have. So if I have a new pen or something like that. So I would do that. So that every time I used gratitude as a way to refocus. When I would go down that spiral, every time I would just jump back, refocus, and that would bring me back to the present moment. And that helped me a lot to get through those few months where things were not ideal, things were not as per I want them to be. So that practice of gratitude helped me a lot. And here I would also say that, see, when things are difficult, it is also difficult to add on a new practice. But for me, I had been doing gratitude for years by then. So when a difficult moment came, I already had that tool ready in my bucket. I already knew I have something I can use to work. So even if things are good in your life, this is the time for you to build that practice of gratitude, so that when there is a trouble, there is a problem scenario, which inevitably happens for all of us. Life cannot be 100% good or 100% bad at all times. So when a difficult situation arises, you already know that this one thing has worked for me in the past. So you tend to go back to that, and it gives you that support, that help that you're not able to get from anywhere else. So that ways you can support yourself in that timing when things are not seeming to be that good or as expected, as you want them to be. So for me, this practice of gratitude literally brought a lot of sanity in my day. It brought a lot of control in my day, because no matter what was happening externally, I had that control in my life. I could always take out my journal no matter what was happening. Nobody could question me. Okay, what are you writing? What are you doing? I had the freedom to do that at all times. So because of that, like I talked about a gratitude journal, I also always have a journal on me. I have a small diary as well. No matter where I go, I always have a journal on me. So I don't, even though I do have like designated morning time where I do it, but for me, because gratitude is such an essential part of my life, no matter where I am, that small journal goes with me everywhere. Even if I have a few minutes, I have nothing to do. Sometimes instead of scrolling, I just sit down and I start writing gratitude, and it gives me so much joy. That, so it's not a productive activity that gives me like results or all that, but instead of wasting time, I sometimes go back and start writing, and that gives me a lot of peace of mind, especially when I'm in a disturbed state. So that is again one thing, one practice where I learned, again reinstated my power of belief in gratitude. So this is again one thing that maybe you or our viewers can also experiment. Yeah.
And Ankita, as you rightly said, that you started writing gratitude as soon as you would go to office. Even I have noticed that when I have to build up a new positive habit, then I attach it to something which I do daily. Like I will do that thing just after brushing, or I will do that thing just before breakfast, or just after breakfast. So then it helps us to build that new habit which we always want to build, but we always say, I have no time to do it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, how does gratitude impact mental health and overall well being of a person?
Yeah. So like we talked about it, Manjari, whenever you shift your perspective, so it can be in one area of your life. So if I take an example of a relationship where things are not going as per the way you want, there also, if you are able to see the positive and negative of the situation. So generally, when we are in an argument, we are not able to see the full picture. Gratitude helps us to take a step back and look at the bigger picture. So recently, we released an episode called "Parenting Yourself" at Khushi Ki Aur, and there we talked about knowns and unknowns. So wherever you're faced with a situation, we are usually focusing on what we see. But at that point, a good tip is to take a step back and see, okay, what is it that I know about the situation, and what is it that I don't know? Because we also make a lot of assumptions whenever we are in a problem. So gratitude helps you to sit down and notice what is going right in that situation. So if I give you a very typical example of, say, you're struggling, you have an argument with your partner, and you are only focusing on how they are not attentive to you, or how they are not doing how they're not doing something or behaving in a certain manner. But if you take a look back and notice that, but they do take care of things in other areas. But they do have other strengths, but they do make me feel loved, but they have built a home for me, the relationship is good in other respects as well. So you, instead of focusing on the only thing that at that moment you're perceiving is working for you, you also tend to notice on other things, and you get a better understanding of things, that even though this situation is not that great, but there are other things that are okay, and then the power of that limited situation reduces, because you're able to see the situation from a bigger perspective. So that is what gratitude does to you. And so this is just one example. So when we do gratitude, it's not only on relationship, it is not only on career, it is a holistic approach. So even if initially your intention is to work on your relationship, but the ripple effect of gratitude actually goes into each and every part of your life. And also, when we talk about centennials, like there's a book called Ikigai, which talks about, people who live for more than 100 years and all. So if you look at their lifestyle, theirs is a very chill lifestyle. Like they don't take too much stress. But in our lives, we have made stress an essential part of our life. We have created room and mental and physical space for stress. So similarly, when we also create room and space for gratitude, it counters that. So if one habit is there which we are not able to drop for whatever reason, instead of just saying कि, okay, think positive, it's very easy to say think positive, but thinking positive is also an art. So if you're not able to drop the stress that you're handling on a daily basis, start supporting it with gratitude, start supporting it with kindness. So again, that is a very good method to train yourself to be positive. So becoming positive is not an automatic thing. So it took years and years of conditioning to become a negative person. So when I talk about I was very critical about myself and about others, it took me years and years to build that practice, right? And then it had become second nature for me. So the same thing happens with gratitude also. Just saying that think positive doesn't happen. So you, whenever you're trying to remove a negative thought, the best practice is to replace it. You have to put something in place of it. There cannot be an empty space. The negative thought is gone, something else has to come in place of that, and that something can be gratitude. So that trains you to be positive. I was not always a positive person, I was also very negative, but gratitude helped me build that mindset over a period of time. So I, from personal experience, I would just vouch for it, that try it for a month, try it for 3 months, and if it still doesn't work, uh, don't do it ever again. It's fine. But from my personal experience, I can say that it will definitely work. whether you want it or not, it will work for you definitely. So just give it a try, just give it a shot, and just with the practice of journal and other things that we talked about, you can just build that habit day after day. And like Manjari, you said, attach it with another activity that you're already doing. That is a very strong support system which helps you to make space for that new activity that you want to build in your life. Yeah.
Okay. So, Ankita, how can gratitude make us more happy? Because at the end of the
Hmm.
day, we all want to be happy.
Yeah.
Or what is its impact on overall happiness of a person?
Yeah. So, Manjari, nowadays there are so many researches that are carried out which have proven that gratitude has actually improved not only the mental health but even physical health. People who have practiced gratitude, they tend to, not go back to negative thinking that they were doing earlier. It has helped people to reduce anxiety, and there are many researches. So, a simple Google search will tell you will show you the many researches carried out which show that gratitude has actually a very strong impact on your life. And even if we talk about a long term benefit, when we talk about happiness, so recently I read a book called Becoming Supernatural by Dr. Joe Dispenza. In which he talks about heart coherence, okay, which is basically using your heart, using the heart intelligence to make your body and your mind healthier. So what happens is when we basically when we are in an elevated state of mind. So in a previous episode you talked about chakras as well. So similarly, when we talk about heart chakra, whenever we are feeling elevated emotions, like we are happy, something good happens, or we are celebrating something, our body tends to be in an elevated state, because we're feeling happy, we're feeling good, and energy automatically comes up, when you're happy. So you're never dull when you're happy, you're always energetic. They say, you have a spring in your step. So whenever you're in an elevated state, your body comes into a state where it can grow and repair itself. Whereas when you're in stress, your body starts to denigrate. Some other chemical reactions start to happen, and other things happen which disintegrate some parts of your body. Similarly, the opposite happens when you're doing gratitude. So when you have built a practice of gratitude, or the practice of kindness or selflessness, or if you're doing affirmations on a daily basis, these things elevate the energy of your body, and though that elevation helps your body to grow and repair. And obviously that is what we want in our body on a daily basis. The body is doing a lot of functions. There's digestive function, nervous system is there, so a lot is happening inside the body. So when we are keeping our body in a calm state by practicing these elevated emotion kind of things like gratitude, etc., so our body comes in a state where it can repair itself and grow itself. And that is what keeps you healthy, not only physically but mentally. And obviously you will live a longer and healthier life because you're now in a calmer state of being. Yeah.
So, can we say that it is one of the ways how we can feed positive hormones to our body?
Definitely. You can definitely say that, and it will be absolutely correct.
Uh, And in general, it is fine that I feel grateful and all that thing. But what happens when I'm really stressed? How can we maintain a sense of gratitude during difficult times? Like somebody is very difficult to me, or I am having a really difficult time. Then, how to maintain a sense of gratitude?
Yeah. So first thing I would say is that start doing it when things are not difficult. That is the perfect time to start. So when we say that you're facing some, suppose my leg hurt, if I want to start exercising at that time, will I be able to do that? No. I would have to have a healthy routine, and then when my leg gets hurt, I'll be able to cope with it better because my leg is already strong from the previous exercise I have done. So one thing to understand is that. Uh, Gratitude is another practice that you need to build in your life. It becomes stronger when you have a strong base for it. But even if you have never done gratitude in your life ever, there is never a wrong time to start that. And how to focus on that? So like I gave you an example. If suppose you have a very bad boss who treats you unfairly, who doesn't respect you and all that, so again, start finding things to be grateful for. How do you do that? If you're not able to see anything, you can always be grateful for your life. You can be grateful that you have a job. You can be grateful that the economy doesn't seem to be doing very well probably, but I still have a job and I'm getting a regular salary every month. I'm able to support my family with that salary. I'm able to support myself and my say hobbies or my interests or my desires with that salary. So again, take a step back and look at the bigger picture, so that not only helps you deal with the problem at hand but also gives you a bigger perspective, so that you can then think about other things. And suppose there are, so whenever we are in a challenging situation, sometimes we are also taking a stand for ourselves, or we are also expressing ourselves. We have friends we can share our troubles with. We can still go out for a meal with our friends and we can discuss with them. So you always can find, at least, I'm happy and grateful I have friends I can talk to. I'm happy and grateful that I took a stand for myself. I'm happy and grateful that even though my boss doesn't appreciate me, but there are so many other people who know that I'm a good employee. I actually work very hard. So in my case, like, if I'm not getting appreciation from one end, I would get appreciation from somebody else who is not like immediately my boss or somebody else. So I would focus on that. Instead of taking my 100% focus here, I would find other things to be grateful for. So, but again, if you have never done it initially, I do understand and I respect the fact that it is going to be difficult initially. I'm not saying it's easy breezy, anybody can do anytime. It does require practice, like any other thing that we have to do. But what I would like to say is, it is worth your time and effort. Even when things are difficult, you can always find things that are working right in your life. And yes, it helps you at a healthy manner. It makes your body healthy, it makes your mind healthy, but it also makes your relationships better. Because when we are struggling with something and we always go back and dump everything on our family members, we literally dump all our trauma on them, that this is happening, that is happening. So sometimes it gets difficult for them also. So it becomes our responsibility to manage our own emotions as well. Yes, it is good that we have people who are taking care of us, and yes, we do want to share our lives with them. But if we are constantly complaining and only complaining all the time, so it is not fair to them also, right? So that way also, gratitude sort of makes you a more emotionally healthy person, where you can see the bigger picture. You can also address the problem at hand, but you can also see the bigger picture and make things better, at least a little bit on your own. And for anything about that, you obviously have your support system, which is there for you to help you in difficult times. But they say god helps those who helps themselves. So at least gratitude is a small activity. It doesn't take much time, it doesn't take much effort, but the only thing it requires is commitment. Okay, so if you can only do that for a first maybe a few weeks, a few months, then you start to see how not only you are improving, but you will start noticing people who are also changing with you. Because when you are in a positive state, others also get inspired by you, others also want to change their complaining patterns, when they are around you. So when you change your energy, you also change the people around you. So that is why even in difficult times, yes, therapy helps, but gratitude is step one. Before going to anybody, that is like the first aid which you can do for yourself, no matter what you're faced with. Yeah.
Okay, so as I understand, it gives a lot of hope to us that,
Yeah.
yeah, that despite all these bad things, my boss still has some good things to
Yes,
to be
exactly.
thankful about. And when we have that hope, then it is the starting point for a positive life and
Yes,
transformation. Yeah.
yes, yes, yeah.
So, Ankita, a little bit about the different types of gratitude, because I've heard there, like you said, that when I want to buy a red car, then I give gratitude. So, what are the different types of gratitude? One is what has happened with me, and one is
Yes,
for what. So, like, what one term I have heard, presumptive gratitude. So
yeah.
just little bit help me understand what are the different types of gratitude, so that I can choose what I want.
Yeah. So I always use a combination. So there are, when you talked about presumptive gratitude, it is basically, when I talked about the book Secret. So they mention that, if suppose I want to buy a book, I'll start with very simple thing. I want to buy a book, but right now I don't have the money to buy it. So what I'll do is I'll start saying, "Okay, oh, I'm so happy and grateful I got this book. Oh my God, I'm so happy. The book is so amazing." And I start saying, I start writing gratitude in a manner that I already have the book, I've already read the book, and that book is looking so fabulous on my bookshelf. So what happens? See, when we talk about, so this is a practice of law of attraction. So what this does is this elevates your energy, elevates your vibration to a level where you already have the book. Once you've elevated your energy, it matches with the energy of the book. Okay, so in that scenario, what will happen? Either somebody will gift you that book, or you will find that book on discount. Okay, but one way or another, that book will find its way to you, or you will find a friend who has the book and you will get a chance to read the book. But one way or another, raising your energy, raising your vibration will help you to attract the thing that you want in your life by visualizing that you already have it. So that is presumptive gratitude. So how I use presumptive gratitude? So what I do is, if I need something or I want something, so what I'll do, I'll make a list of things. I'll write, say, 10 gratitude things. Out of those 10 things, 8 things would be what I already have. So I'm so happy and grateful for this amazing water bottle that I have. I'm so happy and grateful for the book I just finished. I'll out of 10, 8 would be what I already have, and 2 things I will slip in which I don't have. So the mind doesn't know that I'm slipping in things that I don't have, and the feeling remains, because starting from the first to the 10th, I have this feeling of already having what I being what I'm being grateful for. So I practice it in combination, because if I sit down and only write about things that I don't have and want, then somewhere in the mind I know, okay, I don't have it. I'm writing it, but I don't have it. I'm writing it, but I don't have it. So when I do a combination of both things, the mind is not able to make out. Okay, this is a lie, this is a truth. So that is a good technique to mix both and use both. And definitely, we also want to manifest a good life for ourselves. We also want to manifest, good relationships, good things in our lives, and we all deserve beautiful lives, filled with things that we love. So this is a very good practice to do a combined approach, which I have been doing for years now.
Okay. So, Ankita, from your personal experience of presumptive gratitude, where you really wrote what you didn't have, and then it manifested.
Yeah, so I do have a lot of things, honestly.
The biggest one.
Yeah.
Share us the biggest one where you were even
Okay, so
surprised that how can I manifest this?
yeah, so I'll tell you, when I was getting married, I wanted to buy a Sabyasachi lehenga. Okay, but I was not like, obviously, I didn't want to spend the money and everything, but I had a very particular kind of lehenga that I wanted. Obviously, and I'll tell you, I was also funny enough to write a mail to Sabyasachi that please give me a free lehenga, which is fine. Obviously, he didn't give me a free lehenga, but I went to the extent of doing, everything I could do to get a lehenga. I wanted a hot pink lehenga and a particular type of lehenga. So I had a very clear vision of what I wanted, and I kept on writing. Okay, oh God, I'm looking so fabulous on my wedding day in my pink lehenga, and people are complimenting me on my lehenga, and people are saying I look fabulous. I'm so happy and grateful. I kept writing that, and honestly, I went to my hometown 1 month before my wedding, and the first shop I walked into, I got almost a Sabyasachi replica. Okay, almost, and it was so beautiful. Everything completely in order. That is the first lehenga I saw, and that is instantly I bought it there. And after, and I looked fabulous in that. So everything that I wrote, everything came true. And literally, I also made a Instagram post on it where I compared both the lehengas, the one that was in my vision board and the one that I actually wore. And there are actually people who came up to me later and asked me, "Arey, where did you buy that lehenga?" And others bought that same lehenga from that same shop and wore it on their weddings as well. So that was one thing. And also, I got it at a discount. So it was damn cheap, because I was really in that state of mind where I did not want to spend unnecessary money. Not only did I get the exact same lehenga that I wanted, but I got it at a discount and I got it without effort. The first shop I walked into, I got that instantly and I bought it the same day. So that is like one of the biggest things that came true. But I won't say big things. It's daily small things that also happen when I, want discounts. When I want things, they show up in my life. Literally, I will get gifts from people. I will get, major discounts. So one way or another, that thing will come in my life, and it has happened. It has become a way of life as well. So whenever I have any doubt, I don't. Basically, when it comes to attracting these things, I don't have a doubt. The only thing I try to do is I don't put a condition on the time that I will get it in the next one day or I'll get it in the next, 1 month. I do understand there is a divine timing and divine order of everything. So that is the only effort I put from my side, and I don't get discouraged. Okay, I didn't get it this month, so it is not meant for me. I stick at it and then I let it go. Okay, okay, universe, I've put it out there. Now it's your job to get it to me. So like this, I have attracted a lot of things in my life. Yeah.
Okay. So let me try it from today. Yeah.
Yes. Please do and share your experiences as well. Let's have an updated video on that as well.
Yeah, sure. And so, Ankita, what are some creative ways? Some you already shared. So, what are
Yeah.
the other some creative ways to incorporate gratitude into everyday life?
Yeah. So see, one more thing that I do is I have multiple reminders on my phone. So I think I have about 5 or 8 reminders daily. So what happens, because it's not an alarm, it's a reminder. So every time, every I think 1.5, 2 hours, that a reminder goes off, and I get a reminder which says I am happy and grateful for. So every time I see that, the line is I am happy and grateful for, which I read and then I finish it. I finish the line. So even though I do it in the morning once, but during the day that keeps coming. So a lot of people, when I'm sitting, my phone is up on the facing upside. Many people see that reminder. People who are close to me know that reminder. So every time that reminder comes, I say it and they say it too. So that is a very effortless way to do that. Another way is that one of my colleagues started doing this. So I told her about gratitude and the power of gratitude and everything, and she started doing it with her son. So that I also felt was so beautiful, because every evening they both would, and at that time her son was very young. So they both every evening would sit, and she would say 5 things she's grateful for, and she would ask the child to also say, tell me things you're grateful for. He could not write at that time, he was very young. So he would say, I'm grateful for my toy, I'm grateful that I ate. So that is a fabulous thing to do with your children. If getting your children started young at from the in the practice of gratitude, that is an immense thing. And actually I tell it to all my friends who have kids, start doing this every day. So many of them have these little rituals with their children, so that's obviously a bonding time for the parent and child as well. And it's a gratitude practice which both of them are doing. And similarly, like I said, I did it with my husband also. So we also started this thing, where every day we would say, like we would so we started this when we were in a long distance relationship. So because we were not talking, like we were not living together. So every day, we would write good morning, and then we would write, okay, I'm happy and grateful you did this, or things like that. So we would, that was a way for us to, stay connected and to appreciate each other, because we were not physically present with each other at that time. So that also we started. And similarly, we also started one thing that you liked about me, or one thing you like about me, like things like that. So these are also daily things that you can do. And especially if you have dinner together with your family, or any meal together with your family, so this can be implemented at that time also, where you go around the table, and before you, like people pray before eating, you can also do gratitude. So everybody goes around the table and says one thing that they're grateful for. So this is also practice that you can do. And then one more practice that I also love doing. So instead of a gratitude journal, I also make gratitude jars. So in that, what I do basically, I buy a bunch of colorful post-it notes, and every day I will sit down. One note I will write. On one note, I'll have like 4, 5 things I'm grateful for. I put it in the jar. So as the week and month goes by, that jar starts filling up with colorful papers, and it looks very beautiful. And every time, like you look at it, so it is usually placed in a common area in the house. So every time you look at it, your mind goes to things that you're grateful for. And every day you see that jar filling up with colorful things and colorful papers. And it is a reminder for you and everybody in the family that there is so much to be grateful for. So that is also an incredible practice that you can do with your family and with your loved ones. So similarly, so there are many, many ways to do that, but these are just a few different small ways where you can incorporate it and make it a part of your life. Yeah.
Ankita, you spoke about doing gratitude with your husband, right?
Yeah.
So, what is your views of how can someone like change the relationship for the better by doing just a simple process of gratitude with a partner?
Yeah. So see, one thing is that our expectations from our partners are usually very high, and they're unreasonably high, because that is one relationship where you're so attached, right? And our most of our insecurities and fears are triggered in relationships. So there are many times when when you're so stuck up in a problem, or like in a way of thinking, that you are not able to see anything beyond that situation. So I remember one of the things my husband would say to me is that, whenever we fight, you make the whole relationship about the fight and you forget everything that has happened before this. You forget all the good times we've had and you fight with me like, this is like I have ruined your life and this is the worst relationship in the world and everything. And then I realized that actually, because when you're in that moment, you're so hurt, you are so disturbed that you're not able to see beyond that. And obviously, what the moment your anger goes down and everything happens, you do see it again. You do come back to that feeling and you do realize, okay, oh, I said a little bit extra. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. Yeah, he's not a bad person. Okay, I just went a little crazy there. You realize it later on. But when you start doing gratitude, so if today morning I wrote, okay, I'm happy and grateful that my husband did this sweet thing for me. And I'm so personally, what I do is every day, when I'm doing gratitude, at least one or two things are about my husband and about different other relationships in my life. So see, every day when I'm doing gratitude, I'm writing one thing about my husband. So I'm reminding myself on a daily basis of the good that he's doing, or of how he makes me feel. When there is an argument, that doesn't vanish now, because now it is a daily practice. Now when I have an argument with him or there is something that is not working out, I have that bank of data which I have gathered, which proves to me that he's a good person and we are in a very healthy and happy relationship. Now when the argument happens, it is only about that small thing. So if the argument starts like that, it finishes also like that. So with a partner, because your expectations and your fears and insecurities are very high, so there it becomes even more important to find more data which gives you an opposite view of how things are good, how things have been good, the good that has happened in the relationship. But I would say this is not only about your partner. You can also do it with your parents, you can also do it with your in-laws, or rather any relationship where you're finding something difficult to work with. There specially find reasons to be grateful for. Even if a person is rude, they might be kind also. Even if they're rude to you, they might be kind to somebody else. So things like that also we can do, so that actually helps you empower yourself to see the relationship from a different light. Yeah, and that helps you improve the relationship. Yeah.
Ankita, what advice would you give to someone struggling to find things to be grateful for? कुछ है ही नहीं grateful होने के लिए तो क्या लिखूं? So what is your
Yeah.
answer to that?
So first, I would just plug my own page and say कि I post gratitude every day. Okay, almost every day. There are some days I don't do it, and most of the times people tell me, "अरे यार ये ज़्यादा हो गया है." Like sometimes I'll say I'm happy and grateful for the beautiful road. I'm happy and grateful for the flowers I saw. So most people come back to me and say कि oh, I love it when you put it. But some people are like यार अब इसके लिए you can't be grateful. Like I literally say I'm happy and grateful for my hairbrush, that it helps me keep my hair straight in such an effortless manner. So if you build that practice, that starts coming to you. And see, worst case scenario, you are like in the down in the dumps and you are like, I can't be grateful for anything. You can be grateful that you're still breathing. You can be grateful that you have 2 feet. So recently I saw this movie Shrikant, where the person is visually impaired. And while seeing the movie, I realized, almost I knew everybody in the hall would be thinking, I have my eyes. I never gave attention, but I have the power of sight. And then I thought, these are the things, if you're doing gratitude daily. So when you run out of things, so what I would recommend is that, people say, I'm happy and grateful for my health. So I would say, don't say health, say, I'm happy and grateful for my hands. I'm happy and grateful for my legs, for my stomach that is putting in so much effort. I overeat, and still my stomach supports me. I'm happy and grateful for my heart, which has never stopped beating, no matter what, from the moment I was born, even before I was born. So, heart is like one of the first organs that develop, right? Even before the brain develops. So, the heart has been pumping continuously without break since then till now. So, you can always find things to be grateful for, and always whenever you're making a general gratitude, okay, I'm happy and grateful for a family, instead break it down. I'm grateful for my father, I'm grateful for my mother, or I'm happy and grateful for my father for doing this, I'm happy and grateful for my mother for doing this. And so you can find ways like that. So if suppose I also say, if I'm in a bad mood, I ordered from outside and I'm feeling guilty about ordering from outside also, so then it will be like, I'm grateful I have money to order. I don't have to, aisa nahi ki I'm dukhi and I have to make rotis and do work. I can afford to do this. I can afford to buy a packet of chips, and many times I also tell people, if you're right now not able to do it. So, recently one of my clients, he had a difficulty finding things to be grateful. So for him, I gave him a formula that, you have to write five things every day. Out of the five, two things can be old things, ki I'm happy and grateful in school I did this, I'm happy and grateful that in college I made such amazing friends. So sometimes when you need help, you can also go back, on things that have already happened, appreciating the life you have already lived. So like that also, you can mix and match and see what is working on a particular day. See, there are no hard and fast rules. It's a practice which has benefits. So be as creative as you can, do as much as you want, find reasons, old reasons, new reasons, future reasons, do whatever you need to do, but start writing down a minimum of five things every day. And honestly, once you start, you won't stop at five, because the moment that train of thought starts for you, it kicks in for you, five will be too less for you. You'll feel so much gratitude. You'll be filled with immense gratitude for so many things, and you'll start noticing, that even in a life that seems difficult for me, there are actually so many amazing things working out for me. There is so much good that I can appreciate, that I need to appreciate on a daily basis. And that is what consistent gratitude practice gives you. So that is the gift that comes with the gratitude practice, which I have been living, I think, for like 6 7 years now. So definitely, if you take one thing from this whole talk, just take one practice of doing gratitude, a minimum of three things every day, and see how you can improve your health, you can improve your relationships, you can improve your career. And definitely it has a ripple effect in all areas of your life. So I am an advocate of gratitude, and any doubts, I am always here. And if you need inspiration, you have my page. On days you can't find anything, I'm sure I would have posted something bizarre I'm grateful for. So you can check that out.
Okay, thank you, Ankita. And I'm grateful for this tip. Yeah. And
Thank you, Manjari. And I am very grateful that I got this opportunity to talk about my favorite subject.
yeah. And so you spoke about doing gratitude in the workplace. So how can businesses or workplaces foster a culture of gratitude?
Yeah, so in my previous company, I started this exercise of, like we talked about, a gratitude jar. So there I put in, there is a fish bowl, glass fish bowl that comes. So I placed it there, and I shared these colorful post-it notes with everyone in the office. So we ordered a big bunch and we shared it with everybody. And the way I would every day, sit down and write in my journal before starting work. So I had a talk with them, like I addressed everybody in the seminar room, and similarly I spoke to them about gratitude and the benefits of gratitude. And after that, many of them started, before they would start their work, they would sit down and in their post-it note they would write and they would drop it in that thing. So that is one thing that I started in my office, and it actually did do pretty well. But yeah, in offices sometimes it is difficult for people to get started. So in that case, I also gave them an alternative, that even if you're not putting it in the jar, use the jar as an inspiration to start writing in your notebook, or like find a gratitude journal for yourself. Because sometimes when people are too reserved or too shy to actually get up and put, so some population will always be able to do that. Some population in office will be okay and happy to do that, and like especially in my group of friends, we would actually, ask each other, oh, did you put your gratitude today? And then, we would like pump each other up to do that. But I even created a space for other people to show them that you just understand the importance of gratitude. If it is not, you are not comfortable doing that, you can still do it, but in a personal space. I'm not going to force you and all that, but you can always do that. So that is one way I implemented it in my office. And one more thing that happened in my previous, one of my previous jobs, they would circulate, I think once a year or something, they would circulate these postcard sort of things. And at the back of the postcard, there would be, you would have an opportunity to basically appreciate a coworker. It can be any. So it was basically template that they shared, and they would give it to you. And you can just, so the HR would distribute it to everyone at their desk, and then you can write it, whatever you want to write. I'm grateful for you for this, this, this. or like, I appreciate you for, doing this for me, you supported me and all that, and then you can give that card to the concerned person. So this again I thought was a very good activity. So this can also be done maybe on a monthly basis. Corporates can, and how much does it take to print postcards and stuff? It's hardly, nowadays it's so cheap. So you can also do that. You can, give people opportunities to find gratitude in their lives. And if nothing else, you also have like, there are so many parties happening, there's so many games happening. HRs organize so many different things for people. So gratitude can be a common factor for every event. And then, so in my office, another thing that would happen, so people would put in the jar, and then some people would come and read, what others have written. And that would also be such a fun activity where you would get to see, oh, people are, somebody is grateful for their daughter, somebody is grateful for their car. And also it would be like a very happy thing to see that others are grateful for so many things. So you're putting in your thing, but you're also reading what others are writing. So similarly, you can do something like that. And you can also, like, there are links where you can, you send. So I remember in my office, there would be like this, whenever we would log into the system, it would give a pop up, how are you feeling today? And that would go, I don't know where it would go, but we could also have a pop up where, that what are you grateful for today? And you enter whatever
Yeah.
you're grateful for, and the company sort of collects the data, and then they share it with everyone at the end of the day, that this is the 20 or 30 gratitude we got. That not only makes you happy that your gratitude is there, but that makes you, see that there is so much gratitude in the world. And you feel so much happy that, people around you are happy, there are good things happening in people's lives, and that inspires you as well. Ki, there's so much good happening in the world, and that inspires you to be a part of that list, that something good is happening in my life also. So similarly, there are many ways. I'm sure the HRs will have better answers for this as well, but these are the few ways in which I saw it happen in the corporate world, and I also implemented some things. So these are another way, if, like anybody from the corporate is seeing. And see, when I talk about the jar, I also told people that, you can take the same idea and do it with your children. You can take the same jar idea, the fish bowl idea, and you can replicate it with your children. So this is something that any group of people, can do it, whether it is in your school, whether a teacher is watching and they can do it in their classroom. So these things are, something that any group of people can do. So it is a very easy and effective way to do that. Yeah.
So out goes office gossip and in comes office gratitude.
Definitely. That is our aim.
Yeah. So Ankita, in conclusion, just to sum up for the audience, what are the key benefits and what they can do quickly on a everyday? You spoke a lot, but to sum up, and if I would have missed on anything, and you would like to mention something which is very important, so yeah, share it with
Yeah.
us.
So anyone listening, I would just say again that this is just a very fun experiment for you and your loved ones. You can make it a group activity. You can make it accountable with your friend or your partner. That this is a new thing I'm going to start now, and you should also start. So let's do it together. So this is a very good way that you can enhance your life and the life of people around you. Like we talked about the world, you see the world like how you are and not how the world is. So many times when we have struggled with something, we tend to see the world from that perspective. But the world is actually a very beautiful place. The world is actually a very happy place. How many times have we seen these, happy things on the internet? People being kind to animals, people being kind to fellow human beings, people doing kind gestures to others. So the world is actually a very beautiful place. And it is our job to see that beauty in the world. When we say beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder, not only you see the beauty in the life, in the world outside you, but you can see the beauty in your life as well. And that enhances your life and the life of people around you. So gratitude is a very effortless way to do that. Yes, love, compassion, kindness, joy, all these are ways to do that. So you choose what works for you best, and you choose what comes the most easiest to you. For me, gratitude has been effortless. And for all my clients, all the friends, clients, people that I've shared it with, they have definitely derived amazing results from that. So I would say definitely, just if you have spent maybe say 30, 40 minutes, 1 hour in this podcast, spend what it'll take. The 1 hour will be, say, divided in the next 1 month, because one activity of gratitude will take minutes for you to do. Experiment it and come back to me. If you have any doubts, Manjari and I are here to address that. You see this video, put you have, if you have any, still have any queries or doubts, definitely put it in your comment section and we will address that, because we are here to support you, and we would, because we see the world as a beautiful place, we would like you also to see that beautiful world. So that is our intention with the podcast, and I hope that you got value from this conversation and you appreciated whatever we put together out there for you.
Yeah. Definitely, if anyone who is watching this wants to know anything more about this subject, do write to us. And even if you would like to talk us through any other subject around wellness, do write to us. And I would also, in conclusion, want to share my own experience with gratitude. It is extremely close to my heart because I started doing gratitude in during COVID. एंड माई फर्स्ट रिएक्शन वाला इससे थोड़े ही कुछ होता है, ऐसे एक 4-5 सेंटेंस कुछ लिखूंगी उससे थोड़े ही कुछ होगा. But then I just, because I had a lot of time during COVID, and then I did it as an experiment ki I have nothing much to lose actually. And then I have a separate gratitude journal and I kept it by the side of my bed. And as soon as I will get up, I will write some gratitude sentences. And before sleeping, I would write gratitude, but it came automatically to me. Later, I know that the best time of the day is just after you wake up and just before you sleep, because it's a very, very auspicious time, because we are in alpha state, and whatever we do at that point of time, actually, it goes into our subconscious mind. And as Ankita said, that I actually, during that COVID also, I was actually feeling that grateful that I am having food on the table, though that I cannot go out, but I was not feeling that I'm lacking something. I was feeling grateful that I didn't contact COVID. I was feeling grateful that I have a job, because many people lost job during COVID. I was feeling grateful that I was able to do a lot of meditation because I was at home and I did not commute for my office and all. So actually it changed a lot for me, and I became a therapist and a wellness coach through it. But it, for me also, like it started with Ankita, for me also the starting point was feeling grateful for what I have. Actually, then I did a lot of research and did read a lot of book about it. And many places it was written that when we appreciate what we already have, then it increases. And but when we overlook and criticize and overlook and don't appreciate what we have, then it diminishes in quantity and in effect and in everything. And that is what was happening in my life also, though there was COVID and this scary environment for all of us. But nothing, everything was very good in my life. I was able to do meditation, I was eating healthy because there was no place to go out and eat. So
Yeah.
it actually started with it, but then it is multi-dimensional. Each person will have his or her own journey. But yes, as Ankita already mentioned, that do keep a separate journal for it, because as soon as you look at that journal, it will remind you of some gratitude thing. That itself is positive, having that positive, giving your body the positive chemical hormones as soon as you see look at the diary. So that's why do not write it in just some paper or so. Have a permanent diary for you. Do it as an experiment and share your experience with us. Yeah. And
Yes.
today I'm extremely grateful to host Ankita here today in our podcast, and for wonderful tips and techniques she shared from her own life. Extremely grateful to you, Ankita.
Thank you, Manjari. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure to be here and talk about gratitude.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.